Hello everyone and welcome to this video. So I know it's been quite a while since I uploaded, but I recently had a quite odd experience with an online cheater on Lichess in 5 minutes blitz. And since I lost a bunch of time trying to figure this person out and actually file the report, I figured after it's all said and done, might as well make a video to at least get some content out of it. So our story begins 2 days ago when I'm just playing some online blitz, 5 minutes, and I face against this person here, and I've never played this person before, but I don't usually look at the username or try to remember them. I usually just play and maybe look at the elo. So game goes e4 c6. He plays the carol. I'm not gonna show this game in too much detail because this is just the first one. I actually played 4 games in total against this person. But yeah, so we have this opening here where I get this isolated pawn, develop the bishop, try and hit the knight, and if he takes, he repairs my pawn structure, which he actually does. And we have this, I believe it's like a Grunfeld type of position where both players have a pretty decent game. And right here we come to the first interesting moment of this game, where I just drop my bishop back to maybe threaten bishop takes here, which in some lines can be very dangerous because, for example, if takes, king takes, knight check, king can't go back to dg8 because queen here would threaten checkmate, which is a very known motif in these types of positions. So here comes the first somewhat odd moment when he played knight e7 in, I believe it was like 5 seconds or something. Actually, let me just pull up the engine here so you can see a little bit better. So here you can see the time on the top right. He is on 3 minutes 58 and I'm on 4 minutes 22. And he played this move. He actually took a bunch of time playing this, like 16 seconds, which is actually, yeah, somewhat like I would say uncommon. That this is, I believe is a quite scary sack. But okay, he goes knight e7. I sacrifice my bishop. He takes. I go check. And here, of course, goes to g6 because, like I said, if he goes here, we just have queen here, which is yeah, almost lights out. But it turns out this is actually terrible for white. Mainly because black has very strong bishops on this on these two diagonals, and also gets in rook h8 at some point. But keep in mind, you had to see all this when you made knight e7, which, by the way, was the best move in the position. So, so yeah, I skipped a little bit that. So I give a check here. He blocks. At this point, I realized this sacrifice probably doesn't work because what I wanted to do here was play g4. To get the knight back, but the unfortunate thing about that is bishop takes is actually mate in 1 because the other diagonal is covered by the king as well, by the other bishop here as well. At this point I realized I was losing. I played a couple of more moves. Get g5 here after blocking the diagonal. He of course takes. I take. He goes here, and yeah, I just play queen here to try and maybe get a double attack on the rook and the king, but there's of course rook here, just pinning my queen, and this is completely losing for white. I played a couple of more moves here, mainly because he wrote me these 2 lovely messages right here after he got my queen. But okay, I mean that's just a blitz game. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Whatever. So that is the first game, and the second game I actually stopped playing that night. Maybe like played a couple of more games, but I didn't face this person again. But then the next day I went to log on again, and I get this person again. And keep in mind, at this point, I don't know this is the same. This is the same person. I didn't really remember their name because, like I said, the first game was nothing out of the ordinary. This game, however, it already starts to get slightly weird in my opinion. So let's take a look. This time I'm playing black. He goes d4. I play the Budapest Gambit, which he actually declines. I get the bishop out, some normal development, and h3 here to get rid of any knight moves. I go bishop here. I just in this game I just want to have some fun and get a sacrifice in. So I go knight here after the queen moves away, and after g4 I decided to just have some fun. Like again, keep in mind I don't know it's the same person from yesterday who already wrote me these messages. So I just play f5 here, sacrificing a piece. This is of course no good. And he takes, I take. We get some more moves in this position. I decided to just sacrifice everything to at least get the king on the same file as the rook. Queen can't take because then the knight would be hanging. I mean it's a lost position and I'm very aware of that. But what I just wanted to highlight was in this position right here. Let's quickly pull up the engine again. This is of course again completely losing, and oops, this is of course completely losing for black. But I think it's quite interesting to play this move. Like this is kind of a big decision to play within like 8 seconds, because like normally when you're up this much material, you're just trying to trade down. Like maybe even just take here to trade the queens and still be completely winning. This is the sort of moves that I would be looking at. But okay, I mean this is of course, as you might have guessed by now, the best move in the position. And after knight c5, he takes. I go to the side, and here comes the second. After g4, comes the second. Point which is quite interesting. I think I played rook f5 here to cut off the communication between the bishop and the knight. And after bishop takes, pawn takes, comes the second kind of suspicious situation when he plays queen here within 5 seconds. And this is just one of those things. It's of course winning for white, but it's just weird to me that he would allow this, even allow this check here, because the only way you cannot win here is by getting into like a perpetual check. And you might at least you should be considering like between these two moves. I feel like a decent amount of your time here, because any of those two checks that you might allow is going to determine basically the outcome of the game. But okay, this was played instantly. I gave a check, and then I believe pretty quickly, just gave him checkmate here. After which again, he wrote to me these couple of lovely messages. And at this point, like keep in mind, only after these messages, I was actually aware that this was the same person as from the same game right here. And usually on when I play online blitz, I don't rematch, but I actually made an exception here and played him again. And now we come to the sad game, and this is actually the game that I submitted the report on, that eventually got them banned. Because at this point, like, keep in mind, first game, I'm just kind of messing around, playing, like, just sacrificing a piece for no reason, more or less. So this game, I was like, okay, I'm gonna actually try my hardest, try to get a win here. I'm not opposed to dirty flagging my opponent if it gets down to his time scramble. Okay, and let's see what happens. So I go e4, sorry. They play the Caro-Kann again. I go anti-Caro. d5, pawns get exchanged, knight out. Actually, let me just pull out the analysis for this immediately, because this actually gets quite weird quite quickly. So after e4, c6, c4, d5, takes, knight here. I cover with knight c3, and on this move they take 27 seconds. which is already like kind of weird to me. I mean, like it happens all the time that you like get a glass of water, look at your phone or something. But keep in mind this is a 5 minute game, so it's like a decent amount of your time just. You gotta have a lot of confidence basically to win, especially after smack talking your opponent the game before. But anyway, okay, I go bishop c4, knight drops back, I drop back, knight here. All makes sense. As you can see, the position is pretty equalish, which is of course not great for me playing white, but okay, that's how it is. Bishop develops, d4, trying to get the bishop into the game. e6, I castle. Bishop goes to e7, and now I go d5, trying to get rid of this isolated pawn, which has no friends in the center. So after knight takes, this is the first, or I guess kind of the second weird point in the game where it takes like 5 seconds to recapture, which is just very strange because that's obviously the only move in the position Queen can't take because the bishop's still covering. Like this is just something that almost everyone would pretty much pre-move if you see knight takes. But okay, so pawn takes, bishop takes, he castles. I take the knight to get to ruin his pawn structure, and we have a fairly equalish position where black has the bishop pair, but I have a better pawn structure on the queen side. Bishop goes out. Queen b6 and b3. And keep in mind, like all of these moves are very logical. There's nothing out of the ordinary and nothing weird except like that he took so long to recapture some of those to make some of these moves. So rook goes to e8. I do the same. Bishop goes to b4, hitting the rook. I take the rook, and right here is the next weird point where they take, you can see it on the top right here, 8 seconds to capture this rook, which is again just absolutely weird because it's like the only, not the only legal move in the position. I guess bishop f8 is still on the table, but it's of course just insane because the rook's hanging. So taking 8 seconds is again just very strange in this position. But okay, I go bishop back to hit the queen and cover f2. Queen a5, knight here, trying to get this double attack. Bishop e4 and queen g4, trying to enter on d7. And on this next move was actually the first time I was getting like very suspicious. Like I had a weird feeling before, but after the next move I was like almost I was convinced that I should at least go back and check these games because I don't accuse people of cheating lightly. Like I believe this is the first time I've actually ever reported someone for cheating. But within 5 seconds, no, actually. This took a little bit longer, like 12 seconds. The move h5 is played, which is just like h5 is such a genius move, which is just very weird to play this quickly because like allowing this just feels very strange and yeah, like if you see this move, like you can't be you can't be too excited about this. At least in a blitz game where you have like very little time. At this point I'm up a minute on the clock, and this move is played, which is of course it's covered by the queen, so I can't take. But I thought after queen there, I get a decent attack because I'm hitting these 2 pawns, and I was thinking after queen here, rook here, queen here, there's no c5. Picking up the knight, because at that point the rook is no longer defending the bishop because it's moved to d8. So I thought it was pretty safe to go there, but as you see, this is actually a blunder. And after rook here, queen b7, there is bishop c3 in between, which hits these 2 pieces, and now this is all falling apart. I have no time to take here because after bishop takes, queen takes, the rook's just hanging, and after I go here, there's just That's just bishop here. So I tried to throw in before, maybe get him to take with the queen to at least keep the game going. But of course, queen d5 is played, and after rook there, bishop c2 and rook back. This just drops. This just drops everything. I can't recapture because after I checked, my rook's gone, and in this position I resign. And it turns out, I played another game against this person after this, just to make sure they were cheating. It's not really worth showing because I actually blundered pretty early in that game, and actually could have easily happened against like any strong player basically. But after I looked at this game in detail, like just at the moves, I wrote the report to the Lichess moderators, and I was actually surprised how quickly they acted, because this person was actually banned within I believe it was like within 5 minutes of me submitting the report. I later found out that there's like this analyze function down here, and it turns out, you can see it right there, 100% accuracy by my opponent, which is just ridiculous at these levels. And another reason why I'm so like not on alert, mainly that people are cheating, is because it's just so weird that you would cheat in a game. Oh, I actually believe you can't see it right here, but like down here there's another little thing where you can see that it's actually 100% accuracy. I can also link the game in the description, maybe, if you want to see it for yourself. But yeah, that's 100% accuracy for you, which is just very weird at these kind of elo levels. Because why I just thought it's so odd. Like, why would you cheat and have an elo of like 2300? Like, it's not even. It's not even like you get to a level where you can actually like crush a grandmaster or something. But I guess it's just to like because they were actually trying to hide their use of engine to actually to actually not get banned that quickly. But I just thought it was very weird. Later, like before submitting the report, I also looked at this person's profile. And I mean, it was a relatively new account, but they did played like over 100 games, which again is just kind of odd. And the only thing that's like suspicious about this account is the win rate. But that might as well be a smurf, I guess. But like I said, the thing that's just weird to me is these like constant bad-mannered behavior, and combined with this really weird time management. And it's also I feel like there's a little bit of a difference, like how it feels if you get crushed, because if you get crushed by a strong player, I feel like you never have like anything. Versus in the games I played against this guy, like this is a position that I would describe like if I turn off the evaluation here, I wouldn't describe this position as like completely losing, like in a blitz game, I guess. But I don't think strong players would play this here. I think they would play something simple and at least in a blitz game, I guess. So my point is kind of if you get crushed by a strong player, you feel like you're losing it the entire time. When you get crushed by an engine, you feel like you always have something, but you never actually do, which is kind of the story of this. So after I filed the report, they got banned. I looked at the profile, and I actually found this gem of a game as well, which was one of the earlier games. They played both Rapid and Blitz chess. And just to give you a little bit of context, how it looks like when an engine user actually makes some use themselves. So they're playing as black here. White goes FR. They're facing a 1700, by the way. So that's the real hero of the story here. And it's the advanced cover variation. Bishop moves out. Bishop takes. E6. Queen to d3, which is kind of a weird move. Knight there to try and get the fork on these two. After bishop here, There's of course queen b6, trying to fork these two, and this is already a position where it's very tough for white to find the correct move, which is queen here. Because yeah, let me just turn on the evaluation. Because after takes, after takes here, for example, then b7 is hanging. But okay, they actually take here, and even this is like kind of not easy to evaluate. And this is actually a very funny, this is a very funny moment, because after white takes here, this is the first time this person actually pre-moves, and they pre-moves queen takes b2, which is a blunder. Because the rook's just hanging with check, of course. And I think what happened here is that because they were looking at the engines the entire time, they were expecting knight here, which is the best move for white. And after knight here, queen takes there is actually the best move for black. So after this, they actually messed up the order and took on here immediately, which actually gives white a decent advantage. But okay, so white takes. I don't actually know what white's supposed to play here. I guess I guess they have to take, and then bishop goes back, and now the last thing I wanted to show is just absolutely beautiful, because in this position black castles queenside, and after g6, this is a moment where knight here is just easily winning, because the knight's pinned to the king, and if this position was actually remotely weighted to like 2300, this would be played rather quickly. But instead, in this position, black finds the brilliant self-made into, which goes f5, en passant, knight takes, queen takes there, checkmate. So shout out to this 1700 for actually beating an engine user, and also shout out to Lichess for actually banning this person quite quickly. I filed the report for the first time. I was very pleasantly surprised how quickly they actually acted. I mean, I guess it was quite obvious, because this one game was like 100% accuracy, but you still have to check every time. And you can never be 100% certain in most cases. I believe I even wrote that in the report. But yeah. And also another nice thing about Lichess is that you actually get back your rating. And I played 4 games against this person in total. I lost 19 rating points, and I got all of them back in the end. So happy end. I hope you guys had a great time watching this video, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye bye. Take care.